Evening, everyone. Whether we use our email, to-do list, a calendar, or any other tool to keep our lives organized, staying on top of everything that's happening at work or at home can feel overwhelming at times. One of the biggest problems I had, especially as I moved from going to school to working, is that making sure that nothing was falling through the cracks was taking up as much time as actually doing the work. In the past, I was able to get by using a sort of to-do list, post-it notes, or double-checking emails. But as my workload became more complex, I knew a change was necessary. My speech today is going to discuss one of the most well-known personal organization systems as laid out in the book Getting Things Done by David Allen. I'll focus specifically on how it works and finish with a couple ways that this will likely dramatically change the way that most of us work. In doing so, it's my hope that you'll consider how you can become more productive and less stressed by using such a system. The main problem that Getting Things Done seeks to address, that I alluded to, is that when we're always worrying about what needs to get done and when it needs to get done, this distracts us from actually completing the task at hand. The system operates on the premise that there's only so much that our minds can remember, and that our brains are better suited for focusing on what we are presently doing than remembering what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. To keep your brain focused on actually getting things done and alleviating stress, David Allen recommends the following system. The first step to implementing the system is selecting everything that commands your attention. This means identifying the sources of your obligations, especially emails, papers, mental notes, and voicemails. For the physical parts of this collection process, this means gathering up all of your stray emails or papers that don't have a home. Mentally, this means downloading everything that's weighing on your mind and putting it into writing so that you can process what to do about it later. Let me say that the first time that doing this is both very cathartic and terrifying. I think we all know that we have a ton to do, but to see it all laid out in front of us is frightening at first, but to actually create a strategy to get ahead is very exciting. Which leads me to my next step, processing all these inputs and deciding whether they require action and what the next action is. Processing these emails, papers, and mental notes is probably the most unique feature of this system. And you can see this process mapped out in the flow chart that I've handed out to you. As you can see, when first processing these open loops, if something doesn't require action, it should be thrown away or filed for later so that it no longer weighs on your mind. This is part of the system I've actually found particularly helpful. In the past, I used my emails in my inbox as a reminder to do something, or that I was waiting on something to be done. And so if there's one thing that this system has taught me, is that if something doesn't require action, it shouldn't be around me. If something is actionable and takes less than 2 minutes, it should be done immediately. This rule is to take care of tasks that would take more mental energy to actually remember than actually doing the task. If something is actionable and will take more than 2 minutes, you have two options. If you aren't the best person to accomplish the task, it should be delegated to someone else. You should make a note of things you're waiting on to be complete from others so that you can follow up with them later if necessary. If you are the best person, the next action note should be made in the next action list for you to do as soon as possible. Identifying next action really forms the crux of the entire system. David Allen, the author, stresses identifying actionable steps rather than vague goals. For example, if your project is to be Toastmaster for tonight's meeting, you wouldn't identify your next action as planning the meeting. You might start by brainstorming team ideas or emailing members to find a grammarian. By identifying exactly what needs to be done and when it needs to be done, there's no anxiety about what the status of a project is or remembering what you need to do next. You can just focus on getting things done. Lastly, if that next action needs to be done at a certain time, it should be put into your calendar. At this point, all of your obligations are processed and what needs to be done is clearly identified. For me, this is about 95% of the work of organizing. The only thing left to do is deciding when to do the work and actually doing it. But when you know everything that needs to be done, and you've already identified when things need to be done, this is actually a pretty instinctual process. If you have, let's say, 50 tasks in front of you, identifying the top 20 that you need to get done first is actually a relatively easy process. And considering the system in general, there are two ways that this would radically change the way that most of us work. The first is that your email inbox will end up being pre-filtered. Under this system, it is recommended that you create and maintain 3 important folders in your email inbox to help you. These will replace the way that most of us use our email inboxes. The first folder is requiring action. So that folder is dedicated for emails that actually require a response. No other email should go into that folder. The second is your waiting on folder. That consists of the emails that you're waiting on a response for. And the third is your reference material. And that's used for emails that contain information that is essential to completing a certain task. It doesn't actually require an action from someone else or yourself. Everything else can be deleted or filed away. The clarity of knowing which emails require action and which don't is an incredibly relieving feeling. And the number of emails that you might actually have to respond to is probably a lot smaller than you think. The second way that this changes the way that you work is the calendar is only filled with things that have a specific time or date that need to be done. Many people use their email or their calendar to plan out the day or the week ahead of time. The author contends that our days are too liable to change for this to be feasible. Second, putting other things on your calendar that don't need to be done on that specific day or time actually dilutes the emphasis on things that do need to be done at that time. There's a lot of great information in this book about creating project plans and managing your goals and managing projects, but for the purpose of this speech, I want to limit my discussion to managing yourself on a daily basis rather than managing others on a long-term basis. With this in mind, I encourage you to consider how you can become more organized and productive and the way in which your organization system